Bonjour and welcome to a new unboxing video, and today I've got something very special, very exciting, at least for me, because I'm a big fan. One of the things that I've always collected, because I've always enjoyed them, were toys from Tron, and of course you had the original Tron toys by Tommy. I had done actually a retro unboxing of those, and then they were re-released by NECA a few years ago, and it's one basically I might as well show you. So that's the NECA light cycle, and that's a NECA figure, and then Diamond Select had done some bigger size figures like a few years ago, 2 years ago. And for months, there's been speculation that there would be a new line of Tron toys that would be released by Super7 in their ReAction line, so retro figures, and that's going to be fantastic. And well, there is actually a new Tron line, and it's done by Super7, and it's ReAction, but it's exclusive to Disney World, so you can only get it if you're going to the park, which is extremely disappointing. And not only that, but some of the items are available on the Disney Store online, but only in the USA, because it's apparently a US exclusive license. So it's very disappointing for us in Europe, because we do love Tron and we can't get Tron figures. Well, you can. I mean, if you've got friends who are actually living in Florida, who go to Disney World quite often, you may be very lucky and ask them to actually buy them for you. And that's exactly what happened here. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the new Tron line by Super7 in their ReAction collection. And here you go, we do have, this is the new line, it's a new Tron line. There is I'm going to go very quickly around, because of course it's actually describing everything that's in the line. I'm trying to keep some suspense. So you do have the line, and there is 4 figures in the line. The first one is Sark, of course. So you do have a warrior. So far we are having the same figures as the NECA or Tommy figures, which, if you remember well, were Tron, Flynn, Sark, and the Guard. So we do have Sark here, we do have the warrior, well, Guard, warrior, and surprise, we do have Flynn, but Flynn is in red. Interesting, instead of blue, because we're used to seeing in blue. And we do have a new character. We do have Yori. Yori has never been done as an action figure before. So we've got 4 figures, and you say, well, aren't we missing something? I mean, what's happening with Tron? Because there's no Tron figure in those 4. That's because they also have light cycles. Yes, they do have light cycles. So you can have Tron with the orange light cycle. You can have Ram, what never been done before, with the red light cycle, or you can have Flynn, this time in blue, with the yellow light cycle. So I'm extremely excited. I mean, I won't lie, I'm over the moon that those have been released. I just wish that they weren't exclusive to the park. So what we're going to do now is open all those goodies, and maybe even do a bit of comparison with the old one, because there is something that I find odd with the cycle. The light cycle appear to be in a different shape. Anyway, let's try and open those. So we're going to start with Yori, because Yori is the first one I've got on the hand. So you do have this beautiful very shiny blister, and in the back you do have, of course, all 4 figures and all 3 light cycle. It does explain there. So of course you do have the biography of the character, and it does even say that's the price you pay at the park, which is $24.99 plus taxes. So they're actually quite a bit more expensive than they would do. Those are extremely expensive at the park. They are something like $70 at the park, Whereas if you can get them on the Disney Store online in the US, they're half that price. So worth checking. But anyway, I mean, as I said, we people from Europe, we are out of luck. If you're not in the US at the moment, nothing is available if you're not going to the park, which is a bit annoying. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but that's very annoying because, as I said, since it's been rumored it would happen, that's been the most exciting thing for me, because I was really looking forward to those. And I'm happy I got them. I'm really happy I got them, but I wish it were easier to get them for everyone. I mean, that's the whole point. When you have a toy line, exclusivity doesn't make things very practical. I think that from time to time it's okay. I mean, a few exclusive are fine. I mean, they're fun. But when the whole line is exclusive and you know it's something that everybody wants, I think it's really a shame. So, but let's open Yori. One thing that I can't show you is that all of those bodies are actually glow in the dark. So they actually have a soft blue glow, exactly like the characters in the movie, which is really cool. So I'm going to try and get a bit more light on her. So this is Yori. So very nice little painted detail. She does have a hole because, of course, she does have a identity disc that, of course, we can fit in her back. So that's really cool. So that's the first one of all 4 figures. Then we're going to open Flynn, and just trying to not damage it because I want to keep the car for once I'm not ripping everything out. So he is red for some part of the movie, and even though we're all used to seeing him in blue. Here is Flynn, so with the red deco, so definitely I'll recognize him. We've got this little toga thing on, and of course he's got his identity disc, which we're going to fit on his back as well. So as I was saying, I mean, all of those are glow in the dark. It's I've checked that it's really a soft glow. Don't expect something like blinding. It's really a soft glow, exactly, I would say, like in the movie. The warrior, well, same thing. I mean, I'm not going to show you again the blister because they are all the same blister anyway. Let's open this. Should be done. The interesting thing that I noticed is that Yori has a blue background and the red characters have a red background. So little attention to detail here. So let's get the warrior out, and he's got, of course, his stuff. Well, I mean, no surprise here. We know what the warrior looks like. I think it's a very cool figure. Once again, it really works well. And it does have his weapon, which we're going to put in his hand. That's interesting. It seems to be that the plastic on those is a bit more rigid than what you would expect, so it makes things a bit more complicated if you want to. I'm trying to actually put this in his hand, and the hand is so rigid that it's quite difficult to do, which is surprising because, I mean, accessories are meant to be put in someone's hand. Let's try one last time, and if it doesn't work, we will give up because I'm not going to spend 2 hours trying to put a staff in his hand. So I will leave it like that, so he does have his staff. But yeah, I think that the hands are quite rigid, very rigid plastic. compared to what you would be expecting, but that's okay. And we do have, of course, Sark. Of course, he does have his little bio. We want to see the life cycle. You all want to see the life cycle. I know you want it. That's what you really don't care about me opening this. You just want to see the light cycle. Me too. So here we go. We do have Sark here with his little helmet, looking really cool. That's pretty cool. And of course, he does have his identity disc that we can put in his back. So that's the first 4 figures. Before we open everything else, just as a comparison, this is a Tron figure from the NECA re-release of the Tommy figures, and this is to compare. That is the size of Flynn. So as you notice, they are slightly smaller than the original one, which is a bit of a shame, but it's okay. I mean, you can't always have exactly the same size. But what do we want to open now? Let's open Tron and then we'll open the other ones because we do need to see Tron. So Tron comes with the orange light cycle. Same thing, you do have the ID disc. And of course, in the back, you've got a repeat of all the figures being shown. So we're going to open all that and see how good they are and how they compare to the old ones. So here you do have the box here. The inside of the tray has, of course, the grid, which is, well, that was to be expected. And now we're going to try and get this out. And here is Tron. So, I mean, we can actually do a comparison. That's the original Tron and that's the new Tron. So you can see you do get a very similar deco on both of them. But of course, this one is slightly bigger. I still prefer this one. I think I prefer the old style. And of course, he's got his identity disc, which we can actually snap also in his back. But what you want to see is the light cycle. So here is the light cycle. And so you do have a turning wheel here. This is a non-functional wheel, but there is actually a proper wheel. It does have of course the legal term in the back, and it does open, so you can actually put one of your characters. And the funny thing is, you can actually put the character in the. If you remember, when they were they were literally lying in the cycle, and actually the way you actually put them in there is exactly like in the movie. And then you can close it off, and you do have the light cycle. It stands on its own. I mean, I can't show you very easily, but it does stand. It doesn't have the little rope thing that you could use to actually make the old one, the one from the 80s. They could literally roll off on their own, but they're actually pretty cool. What I noticed as well, which is actually a very nice feature, is that so here's just showing you the inside. What I noticed is that they are also glow in the dark. I mean, the orange one, the orange part isn't glow in the dark, but the bluish bits are definitely glow in the dark. Exactly. I mean, it's that slightly fluorescent look that they had, this little glow they had in the movie. And of course, well, we have to open all of them because, or do we have to open all of them? Because you've seen, I'm going to open this one, the red one, because of course Flynn is exactly the same. So I'm not going to open Flynn Flynn is exactly the same as this one, except he's blue. And of course, the light cycle, the yellow light cycle, is the same as the orange light cycle, but in yellow. So I'm not quite sure it's really worth opening it. But let's open the red one, because the red one contains a character that has never been released before. One thing that I noticed, and I'm thinking it's probably because the blisters are so tight, is that all the right legs are slightly bent, which make the character difficult to stand on its own. It's nothing. I mean, basically you just put those in a little bit of hot water and they strain. But I think that shows you how tightly they are packed in the packaging, which is kind of an odd thing. So here we go. This is Ram, so character that had never been done before. He's got, of course, a different deco. You could think that it's the same. Is it the same sculpt? No, it's not the same. It's difficult to see, but it's not the same sculpt, and of course it doesn't have the same deco as Tron, and he does have his little identity disc that you can put in his back as well. So that's the figure. The only thing we still need to do is the comparison for the light cycle. So this is the red light cycle. I should have opened the yellow one, because I actually do have a yellow one here. So that's the light cycles as they were released in the 80s. So you did have the opening system like that. I'll show you again. So basically it was the front that was completely and you could actually sit the figure. I'm pretty sure that I should be able to sit one of those in there, probably. Maybe not, oddly enough. Oddly enough, well, it's going to be, let's say that it works, but you know that it's not designed for them. So of course you would have Tron originally that would go inside here, and then you would literally close back the cockpit. So here you go. That is the NECA, and you're going to realize immediately that they are not the same shape. I mean, if you look at this, the original, this is much wider than the original, as you can. I'm trying to put them next to each other, so they are actually next to each other, and you can see how much bigger the new one is, and also how much rounder. So I don't mind. I think it's okay that they are slightly deformed, because I do think that this is deformed compared to this, but they are actually pretty decent. One thing that I noticed as well, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check, is that yeah, those bits are completely opaque. I mean, it's like it's painted on the windows, whereas those ones were actually clear plastic. So you really had a full cockpit in those ones. So, and of course these had the gyrojet system that you pull to make them roll, whereas those don't. So I mean, I'm okay. I like both. I think I prefer the old one. I think they're, but it's very cool. So here you go. That's the I mean, I'm not getting Flynn out, but basically it's the same but yellow. It's a very cool line. I really like it. I'm extremely excited by it. I like the fact that you've got new characters as well, which is rather cool. And so let's go again. We've got Ram, Sark, Tron, Warrior, Flynn in red, Flynn in blue, and Yori. So here you go, that's all there is. And of course you do have the 3 lights icon, orange, red and yellow. And well, sadly, as I was saying, those are available only at Disney World when you're going to do the Tron attraction. And some of them, I think that 2 of the light cycles are available on Shop Disney, the Disney Store website. Only in the US, they are not selling outside of the US, so it's a bit annoying, but well, hopefully you can try and get them, or you could actually go to Disney World yourself. And I hope you enjoy this. Now I'm going to play with my toys because I absolutely love those. Bye.